So I was just watching part 2 on, I'm sure you're aware of this Darwin's Greatest Hits YouTube channel, Duncan?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I
I
was
mean,
watching.
I haven't watched it. I know of it.
I was watching.
Well, you asked me to respond. I'm trying to respond. I'll be brief.
Okay.
I haven't actually watched any of the videos, but the stalkers regularly post the links.
Yeah. Well, I figured it was probably by someone who had something out for you. But anyway, I was watching Darwin's Deity versus Floyd round 2, and around the 19-minute mark, I think you were making a good point that Floyd was saying that that he goes by his presuppositions, and then you were asking him, is that true? Because for him to even make the truth claim that he's going by his presuppositions is itself something that he can't even reliably know. I think you were trying to point out.
Right, right. Well, you'll notice yesterday, MK, that he really didn't. I had to ask the question 4 times before I was hidden from the broadcast for a long time, which I'm not complaining about it. That's your prerogative. But you'll notice that Floyd really didn't specifically address my question, but just came back and filibustered and lectured. And this is a common tactic when people are confronted with the type of questions that I asked them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Bullshit. Hey, MK, there? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I'm here for now. I might not be here for a while, but I'm here.
Art, is it okay with you? Art, is it okay with you if you make a comment? I'll just say bullshit.
I'm asking MK a question. Yeah. So, MK, did you say that Floyd said something and well, could you repeat what you said about Floyd?
Can I just double check? Which Floyd is this?
FP.
Floyd FP.
And you know what?
Floyd.
Hey, you know what? I want to give Dawkins, not exactly at this exact second because I want to answer your question, but I want to give DD a chance to talk more about that because I did hide him for a long time yesterday. But let me answer your question real quick. I think Dawkins was asking him, is there anything in your worldview that you know is true or something like that? And I think Floyd said, yeah, according to my presuppositions. And then Dawkins said,
that's not what I said.
Okay.
What I said was what I said. I mean, you're partially correct. I said, Floyd, is there anything that you can state on the microphone today that is the case in such a way that you cannot be wrong? Okay, and Floyd came back and basically what I should call him from now on here is filibuster Floyd, because that's all we got. And he started talking about ontology. He started talking about presuppositions. He put up a quotation from Greg Bonson, as though quoting Greg Bonson would help his position out. If Greg Bonson were still alive and in the room, Floyd would be ripped to pieces. So nothing that he could actually cite from Greg Bonson would actually help Floyd.
Except that he was bringing up a principle or a definition. I think it was worldviews, and that worldviews are assumptions. And he was quoting
Greg
Bonson himself to
Are you speaking to me, Art?
that this is a position that is held, right, by presuppositionalists themselves, by the father of presuppositionalism, right?
Are you speaking to me?
Sure.
Okay, well, could you explain? You told me yesterday that I was on your troll list and you refused to speak with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So could you tell me why the flip-flop?
Really? You're going to criticize somebody for flip-flopping people on the troll list? You talked to Bob. Yesterday you admitted that you talked to people on your troll list.
Okay, Art, are you flip-flopping now?
Hey guys,
you flip-flopping when you're talking to people on the troll list?
So getting back to Floyd, getting back to what Floyd did.
So you're not gonna answer my question?
No, I'm not. Well, when I was speaking earlier, the moment when I got done speaking, you said into the microphone under your breath, bullshit. Well, I don't really consider that adult type of discourse, even if you disagree. I consider that type of the bad behavior that atheists are well known for. On the internet, but getting back to Floyd FP, MK, I'm sorry, MK asked me a question, and I'd like to respond to MK. Floyd quoted Greg Bonson saying that we all have presuppositions. That citation of what Greg Bonson did not in any way mitigate any of the simple questions that I was asking Floyd. Floyd was just simply doing this as what it's called. It's called, if you don't want to call it filibustering, it would be called grandstanding. Because if you recall, MK, I said, and you can play it back on the tape 4 times, Floyd, you have not answered my question, and I repeated the question.
That doesn't mean that he didn't answer.
This is why dialoguing and even debating with Floyd is inherently problematic, because this is what he does. He launches. Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. Okay, Art?
Good. Good.
So the problem I have with Floyd is not that he has some intelligence. He does some research. It's that he makes a pretense that he's going to respond to you, but then he just launches into a Floyd filibuster lecture.
Hey, MK, I thought we had a rule in your hangout yesterday that we're not going to be talking about people, right? We're not going to make attacks on people.
Yeah, I know. He's just referring.
MK asked me about Floyd. He asked me to comment about Floyd.
Yeah. Let me kind of steer this back for a second, please. Just to answer that question real quick. I think it's okay. I'm just referencing his name to reference what was discussed. But let me answer your first. Let me just try to reiterate what I said at the beginning. So I think Floyd was saying something. All I wanted to do was say that I think that Deity was making a good point, because what I think Floyd was saying was, this is the way things are according to my presuppositions. And then Deity was saying, is that true what you just said? And I think that's a good point, because I
think that misses the point of what was discussed.
Well, yeah, because okay, go ahead.
Yeah, MK, first of all, you asked Darwin's Deity a question about Floyd. Yes. But was there a need to attack Floyd personally, talk about his character? Could we have not just talked about his argument? Yes, you said Floyd. You should Floyd's name should be changed to filibuster Floyd.
Hold on.
That's a personal attack on Floyd.
Art, please.
Well, no.
Okay, guys, please. I don't want to go there. I think you made a good point, Art. So I'm gonna write Deity a personal message on the side. But yes, let's not go to the whole personal thing, please.
Good.
Yeah, I did refer to Floyd as filibustering, and I think it was painfully obvious that when I asked him the question 4 times, each time following my asking the question, what we got was a lecture that didn't really answer the question. And in American politics, see, I don't know where I'm talking. You're interrupting me. I would appreciate it if you wouldn't interrupt me. All right. Now I didn't interrupt you. This is not Nadia's room. This is MK's room. Now, in American politics, which you're not familiar with, we commonly have politicians who don't address certain points in debates, and then they rattle off something that is semi-related in a segue, but they really don't address the issue, and this is known in American culture and politics as somebody filibustering. So this was not a character assault. I did not say that Floyd was a child molester. I did not say that he was a bank robber or a counterfeiter. I said that he was practicing filibustering.
Okay, so if I say that you're filibustering...
Okay, hold on.
Well, he just talked...
Hold on. Both of you real quick. I know.
Perhaps just move on. Perhaps just move on.
Yeah, exactly. Can we just... Yeah, let's move on from the whole meta conversation about personal stuff. The whole point was I wanted to bring up the content itself. Go ahead, Art.
Which is the point, really. He was able to talk about the subject rather than filibuster about the subject.
Sure. Although I think there's a bit of hypocrisy.
Well, is the word filibuster prohibited?
Okay, look. I wrote you a message on the side. Let's just stick to the content, please. So look, I appreciate it. So do you get what I'm trying to say, Art? Like how I think he was making a good point. How Deity was making a good point about what Floyd was saying. Did I make myself kind of clear, or was I not clear enough?
So you're saying that because Floyd has unjustified presuppositions, that he cannot say that anything's true according to his worldview, right?
Yeah, even if he says, according to my presuppositions, I'm gonna, because I think what Deity asked him was, according to Aristotelian logic or something like that, would it be true that the laws of logic, they don't change. And then I think Floyd said something along the lines of, yeah, according to Aristotelian logic. And then Dawkins
Well,
might have said
I
something
didn't.
like,
Yeah,
is that
I
true?
didn't invoke the term Aristotelian
Yeah,
logic.
you didn't invoke it. He invoked it first.
Yeah. And I said, I asked Floyd, is it true in reality that the laws of logic are absolute and universal?
And then Floyd, I believe, said, yeah. And then I don't think that is the point in which you said, is that true? But I think kind of along the lines you did in a way. I
Well,
think,
I would say, how would you? Yeah, I asked
yeah.
Floyd, how can you demonstrate that it is the case in such a way that you cannot be wrong,
And then,
that the laws of logic are true at all times and all point? And
then,
when he came on the microphone and he didn't address the question.
So wait, is it a problem that somebody has unjustified, unproven, properly basic beliefs?
If somebody is going from their worldview, if somebody is going to state that something is the case and that it comports with reality, I would like for them to be able to demonstrate how they arrived that it actually is the case, given the parameters of their worldview.
No, that doesn't answer the question. So, properly basic beliefs, should they be or do they have to be justified, right? Do you have to prove that laws of logic are universal and true?
I don't make demands one way or the other about somebody saying this is my properly basic belief. But when somebody says to me, such and such is the case in reality, I'm going to say, can you please demonstrate how you arrived that this is the case, that it comports with reality in such a way that you cannot be wrong?
I can give an example.
I'm not really interested in really discussing some people's chosen properly basic beliefs or not.
Well, but you're doing that with Floyd when you're talking about that topic, right? Which was topic of presuppositionalism, i.e., conditions for intelligibility.
No, I didn't ask Floyd.
I'm talking. Hey, don't interrupt me now. So it seems to me that you are criticizing Floyd for not having justified properly basic beliefs, i.e., that he has not proven that his properly basic beliefs of validity of laws of logic and external reality, his reasoning being valid, is justified in his worldview. So are you saying that properly basic beliefs have to be justified by something else?
No, I didn't specifically make reference to properly basic beliefs. Floyd made a statement that something was the case in reality. I asked Floyd how he determined that his truth-valued statement was the case and that it comported reality, and I asked him to verbalize how he could demonstrate that is the case in such a way that he cannot be wrong.
And he answered that based on his properly basic beliefs, he can say that something is the case, right? And you said, well, you cannot justify that, right? You said something to that extent.
Appealing to properly basic beliefs, as they are used in philosophy, do not demonstrate that certain truth-valued statements that came out of his mouth are the case and comport with reality.
But again, now you are essentially asking Floyd to prove his properly basic beliefs, because if he cannot appeal to his properly basic beliefs in order to provide intelligibility, i.e., show that something is the case in his worldview, right? If you're saying that he has to prove even that, then you are asking him to prove his properly basic beliefs.
Art, I don't know what you're not getting here. Floyd made a statement such as, I said, are there absolutes? And he said yes. And I said, in your reasoning, are you employing, knowingly or unknowingly, the laws of logic in that they would be absolute, universal, and invariant? And he said yes. And I said, can you please demonstrate that it is the case that they are? So I didn't invoke the concept of properly basic beliefs. What I did do was when Floyd made a truth-valued statement that the laws of logic are in fact universal, I asked him to explain and demonstrate how it is the case that that comports with reality.
Right. So I'm going to play Floyd here, kind of. So.
No, I'm not interested in role playing.
Well, it's not true because I actually hold Floyd's position. So you can just talk to me, I guess, for a while. How do I know that something is true in my worldview? Well, based on my properly basic beliefs that what is in reality, right, and by reality I mean what we perceive, is the case, right? So when I observe something, is the case.
Is there any properly basic belief that you hold to that you can demonstrate that it actually comports reality in such a way that you cannot be wrong?
Wait, could you repeat that?
I said, is there any properly basic belief, since you're the one invoking it, is there any particular properly basic belief that you can express as a truth value that you can demonstrate that it comports with reality in such a way that you cannot be wrong?
Now, how is that not asking me to prove that my properly basic beliefs are values, which is exactly what you said you're not doing?
You are asking me a question, and I asked you a question.
Right, and I'm saying, how is this not asking me to prove my properly basic beliefs? Is it?
Okay, I want the room to notice. I want you to notice that I've asked the question 3 times from Art, and I'm getting are questions in return.
I just want to clarify what exactly you're asking, but I will answer it right now. Sure.
Okay. Good. Well, my answer is sorry. No. I'm sorry that you have poor listening skills. I'll be glad to repeat the question for you.
You don't need to. I just answered it.
If you're going to invoke any of your beliefs, I don't care whether you call them properly basic or not. It means it's neither here nor there to me. So whatever belief that you may put forth as a truth-valued statement, can you demonstrate that that belief or truth-valued statement actually comports to reality in such a way that you cannot be wrong?
Okay, so the answer is, when it comes to properly basic beliefs, there is no way for us to prove them to be the case. That's why they're properly basic. There's nothing that you're dependent on their truth value, right?
Okay.
Like laws of logic.
Is that true, what you just said?
Yes. In my worldview, it is true, yes.
Okay, good. Could you demonstrate that it is? Well, how in your worldview could you determine that anything is true?
It is an incoherent question to ask to prove properly basic beliefs, because that would require somebody to use properly basic beliefs. They're the foundations for thought, right?
So is your response to me that you cannot demonstrate that something is true?
No, I didn't say that. I said I could not demonstrate.
Art, can you demonstrate anything? Okay, good. So any truth-valued statement that you make, I understand that when you verbalize it that you believe it. But is there any truth-valued statement that you make, can you demonstrate that it is the case, that it is true?
Yes, based on my properly basic beliefs. For example, laws of logic being valid and external reality existing. Let me finish. I can show that something is the case, right, within my worldview by appealing to those things. For example, I can show that the sky being blue on planet Earth is the case by pointing to the sky, right? And I know it's the case because in my worldview, this reality that I observe through my senses and the senses themselves are true, are valid, right? But if you're asking me again to prove that there is a real external reality and laws of logic are real, that's an incoherent question, right? And this applies to everybody. I could ask you...
Why is that incoherent, Art? Why is that incoherent,
Because that requires those things in order to try to even prove them or disprove them.
Where is there a logical contradiction, Art?
So, can you show me how logic is valid without using logic?
Art, do you understand what a question is, Art?
Yeah, I do. And you've been asking questions again.
And
you've been switching this to the other side again.
Art, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I was speaking. Now, Art, when you say that something is incoherent, are you saying that it's unintelligible, or are you saying that there's an inherent logical contradiction?
But this one is a contradiction, Art.
Well, yeah, so... yeah, I'm not sure about this, but the thing is, so...
Art, do you have an answer to my... Art, do you have an answer?
Well, I'm going to answer. So, I could not see any way you could prove laws of logic without using laws of logic, right? So it would always beg the question, and that's, well, I'm still not, don't interrupt me, don't interrupt me. So you've been bitching for people interrupting, and I'm interrupting. So it is, it would be contradictory, right? Because I would be begging a question, right? If I would even try to prove that laws of logic are valid, I would have to use them, and thus would beg the question. So yeah, there would be logical contradiction in trying to prove that laws of logic are valid.
No, how is there a contradiction for you? Well, let's go back to the central point. You said.
Well, actually, no. I like to ask you questions.
Art, you know what, Art? It's my turn to speak. Art. I would think you would respect that it is my turn to speak. Okay. Now, you said that you can demonstrate that certain things are the case because you can appeal to your properly basic beliefs. Are any of your beliefs the product of omniscience and an infallible reasoning?
So, Dawkins, are you willing to have your worldview challenged?
Okay, I want everyone to notice Art has not answered my question.
Don't interrupt me. So, are you kidding? I've been answering questions for like half an hour now that you asked me about.
This is the fourth time you have not answered my question.
Now I want to put some questions back to you. So are you willing to step up?
If you don't answer my question, the next time I ask it, the conversation's over.
And defend your worldview. Okay, so Dawkins is not willing to defend his worldview, even though he was just asking me to defend my position. No, I'm not done. Don't interrupt. You've been bitching about people interrupting it.
Okay, keep on filibustering.
So, yes, I'm still talking. So, are you willing to have your position challenged, your worldview challenged? Will you answer some tough questions for a change instead of trying to shift this back on the opponent? I've been answering tough questions now for 30 minutes about. So,
First Peter 3:15.
Okay, Art, I'm more than willing for you to pose questions to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the question that you did not answer, and then when you give me an answer that is directly related to my question, you can ask me a question. Now,
point of order, point of order, point of order.
I'd like to speak. We have somebody interrupting. MK, can we have some moderation in here, please?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
MK, can we have some?
I'm going to say
MK?
You don't need to continually repeat the question.
Okay, MK, it's my turn to speak. Thank you. Okay, so Art, I'll repeat the question again, and okay, good. The question to you, Art, is you said when I asked you earlier, can you demonstrate anything is the case that it actually comports with reality in such a way that you cannot be wrong? And you said, yes, you can, based upon your properly basic beliefs. Now, I asked you the question that was not answered before, so I'll repeat it again. Are any of your properly basic beliefs the product of omniscience, or are they infallible?
I don't understand the question. Properly basic beliefs.
Are any of your beliefs that you have, are they in any of them infallible where they cannot be wrong?
So just to clarify, after I answer this, you will allow for your worldview to be challenged.
I'm waiting for an answer, Art.
So am I, because I'm tired answering your questions for half an hour without. Because this is how your discussions with you go all the time. You push people to answer your questions, right? You try to get them to some point, and when you're challenged back, you just don't answer. So I want to know, after I answer this question, will you allow me to answer some questions to you?
I'm waiting for an answer to my question.
So I don't see what's the point of talking with somebody who's just going to interrogate me. So I'm perfectly willing to answer this, but I'm not going to be talking to Dawkins anymore.
Perhaps me and you can discuss it, Art.
Oh, cool! I'm delighted. I'm delighted that Art has now flip-flopped. Now he says he's not going to talk to me. Okay, that's fine. You flip-flopped again. Thank you.
I find it so funny. Wait, Cliff. I find it so funny that Dawkins is criticizing somebody for having people on his troll list, i.e., people on a list who will not talk to, right? And then arbitrarily talk to them in the future, like what he does to Bob.
Oh yeah,
and too many people on occasion, like
exactly.
Jack, right?
Yeah,
So
he's flip-flopped on me three times. He flip-flopped on me. He said he wouldn't talk to me, and then talked to me the next time I spoke dumb shit. There's 3 times he flip-flopped on me. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, the hypocrisy here is so fucking thick.
So,
So Art, is this a permanent policy, Art?
Oh no, it's just sometimes it just.
Or is it just 24 hours?
Your tactics just annoy the fuck out of me, just like it does to most people here, because you're not intellectually honest. You just care to filibuster.
Well, wait a minute, MK. I thought we weren't supposed to be issuing personal insults here.
You just care to. Oh no,
MK,
hey, I'm just.
Please don't.
And yet you were doing that to Floyd.
He's now attacking my character.
Okay.
He's now attacking my character.
And you were not attacking my character when you said that I'm flip-flopping?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about your behavior. I'm not talking.
Yeah, and so was I. I was talking about your behavior in Google Hangouts.
All right. Hey, by the way, guys,